afternoon everyone, hope you're all having a wicked afternoon. Welcome back to the videos where today we're finally going to be working on my Evo again. It's been a very long time. We just finished a massive 2,000 kilometer road trip in this thing and it was just unbelievable. The thing was so incredibly reliable. The only thing that happened was my gauge lost power. I'm not quite sure exactly what happened, but we'll figure that out in today's video as well. Now you guys don't actually know this, but I recently installed a full sound system in the Evo. There's actually been lots that's happened recently. For starters, you guys will watch me do a Hertz sound system in the BRZ a few years ago. The BRZ is no longer with us, but the Hertz sound system still is. I'm gonna make a full video about the BRZ in a little bit because that car was just absolutely brilliant and I do miss it. But this car has a full sound system. Hertz tweeters, Hertz mids, massive Hertz sub, and a Hertz 5-channel amplifier, which I'll run you through in today's video as well. But ever since getting back from my road trip, I have completely stripped it out. And you guys might be able to see why. The entire Evo interior is sitting over here, and that is because we're going to be doing a very cool mod to this car, and something I've wanted to do to this car for a very long time. Even though it does love the track, I like driving it on back roads and weekends, and I even daily this thing. This is probably my favorite car that I've ever owned in my life. However, the only reason I drive my Falcon over this car every single day to work is because this car, the road noise is not terrible, but it's not great. In saying that, it's a mid-90s rally car homologation special. There is a reason these things are loud inside. It's a rally car. It's all-wheel drive. It's got a massive big turbo 4G and it's like 1,200 kilo. The thing is so light. And the reason that it is light is because it doesn't have much sound deadener in it at all. This car is very bare bones and that's what makes the driving experience so good. However, I feel like today we're going to be amplifying it. This stuff right here is what is called sound deadening, and it's by a brand called Car Builders. I have run Car Builder sound deadening in pretty much every single one of my cars, aside from when I did my original XR6. This stuff here I have used to make my Falcon door speakers sound incredible, and I've actually got some in the Evo right here as well for the front doors to make the speakers in this sound good as well. I reached out to Car Builders to see if they wanted to do the rest of the Evo, and they amazingly jumped on board and said, hey, it's a sick car. If you want to drive it interstate, let's make it a little bit more comfortable. So let's run through all the products that we have here today. So this is all we're going to be using in today's video. Now, first of all, starting with our stage 1. So this one here is our sound deadener, which takes away vibration from panels. Now, in a lightweight rally car, it's definitely going to have some rattles. You can probably hear that. It's really gross. Even the back doors. Now, I have fully sound deadened this door already. I did it a few months ago and it is ultra quiet. Even shutting these panels, you can hear it's like vibrating and horrible. G-Wagon. Not really, but it's as good as you're gonna get out of an Evo. In my original Falcon, this stuff here was all I did. I did every single square inch of that interior, and it did help, yes. However, it is more so amplified by this stuff right here. This is a sheet of mass noise liner. It is a very thick vinyl layer with closed cell foam on the bottom side. Now this is what's going to be taking out all of that noise. So the first layer, we're going to be putting some of this on the bottom. This stuff here is going to be on top. Also gave me a sick little kit as well to help install it. Our Forte, got a roller as well, which is awesome. A knife and a bottle opener as well. A must have. All right, so I've jumped in the car. I've just quickly put out a full box of sound deadener. So I'm going to do the top of the parcel shelf. I'm going to do probably 3 there. And then I've pretty much covered the entire lot down here. We've also covered the entire drive shaft tunnel as well, which is awesome. So now that I know where everything's going to roughly sit, I'm going to pull up a panel, going to wax and grease remover it. I've already vacuumed out the entire car. It's pretty grot. It's relatively clean. There was a few little panels where there was just grossness down there, so I vacuumed it all out. It's looking pretty good. So now we're just going to start slapping some panels down. Let's go for it.
So before we get to installing our first stage of sound deadener, Zach, you're putting heavy sound deadener into a rally car. When it came to the sound deadening, I also wanted to make sure that if I was to take this thing on track or do a tarmac rally or something similar, that I was going to be able to retain the low weight of this car. So today we're going to be putting about 25 to 30 kilos into the car. However, majority of that weight is actually going to be removable. The mass noise liner is going to be the biggest part of this entire setup. If I do want to take it on track or go to a tarmac rally, I just have to remove the 2 seats, remove the carpet, and remove all the mass sound deadener, and then the car's back down to only 15 kilos above what it is. However, the payoff from that is the other 99.9% of the time when I'm driving around, it's going to be so much nicer.
All right, so I've pretty much done the entire passenger side of the car. Now, when it comes to the back of the car, we didn't want to go too crazy with where we're going to be laying sheets. Obviously, being an Evo, this is all X-braced off. You can't fold the seats forward. However, the only thing that was separating the boot and that was separating the cabin was a piece of core flute, which is like signage material, and the rear seat. So that's going to allow a lot of noise to come through, and especially because this car is pretty rigid, I was getting a lot of rear diff noise. Could just be the fact that the rear diff could be on its way out, but I'm pretty sure it's just like a diff noise or a diff whine or something similar. Either way, a lot of the noise is coming through the boot, and so what we're going to do is try and get rid of as much of that as possible. So where all these little tiny holes are around the whole thing, I'm going to try and seal that all off. Not only that, we're going to be really focusing on the rear wheel wells. The wells themselves are in the cabin, they're quite loud. So what I've done is covered it in one big sheet, and then I've put some relief cuts in it, and I've pretty much just folded it over itself. So in some areas, there's actually sort of 2 layers there. And then our mass noise liner is going to sit over the entire top side of that one there too. So it's going to try and take out as much noise as possible. And then also just think about other things as well. Servicing. Are you going to want to get to your fuel pump again? Highly recommend not going over this like I did in the Falcon, but cutting around it. And then, I don't know, this is like a little bit tinny, so we'll probably just put like a nice little piece across the back there. That'll take off all the resonance from that there too. So let's quickly do that. Oh, this took a very long time. I can't remember when I exactly started. I'm pretty sure it took me 3 hours. Wasn't as bad as the FG, let's just put it that way. But the interior of this is looking absolutely insane. That silver Car Builders Stage 1, it looks absolutely incredible. There's a few things I wanted to note if you guys are doing an Evo as to something to look out for. The biggest thing is that we were trying to do these wheel arches as best we could. These wheel arches, they don't have a inner liner, it's literally just right there. They have a pretty heavy coating from factory, but this is going to mean that no rock chips or any horrible noise is going to get there. The next thing is this cross brace right here. I found that it actually rattled a fair bit, so I ended up putting a little tiny strip on that cross brace, which really strengthened that up. I ended up doing the entire parcel shelf as well, which is really good, and I still have 2 full sheets left over. So realistically, in an Evo, if you wanted to do like an Evo 6, Evo 5, Evo 4 with this sound deadener, I'd be probably getting 3 boxes. You'd be getting 1 for the doors, you'd be getting 1 for this side of the car here, 1 for that side of the car there. Now, another thing I did, I don't know if this is too much of a big thing, but there was some tiny little holes, which I actually didn't do on this side over here, but I can show you. There's some tiny holes that go into this section of the car. Now, I would highly recommend covering all these up. Reason being is because this is going to create a lot of noise being the wheel well. So just go through, cover that one, that one, that one, that one, and that should take away a fair bit of noise just in itself. Aside from that, I also found it really easy to pull everything up and literally just lay the sound deadener directly beneath it. So I got obviously the handbrake cables, I just lifted them up. All this little bracketry here, I have no idea what that does, but that's all sorted now. Oh, these must be G meters. I think they might be. That's really cool. It's the only reason I could think that they're there. That's pretty cool. And then also around the selector as well, these 12mm bolts all come up, and then the whole selector comes up because it's just cable. So yeah, I was able to do full sound deadening beneath that, and everything still feels absolutely mint. So happy with that. All right, so we're now going to be putting in our stage 2, which is our mass noise liner. So let's quickly go check that out. Mind all the rubbish, I feel so bad. This right here is your mass noise liner. It is basically just heavy vinyl with a closed cell foam. Now apparently this stuff is waterproof, so if you guys do have a four-wheel drive, I didn't actually realize, but car builders is massive in the four-wheel drive scene. I always just knew them from their really cool, you know, stuff that they did for all the passenger cars and all the JDM cars and stuff like that. But yeah, this stuff massive in the four-wheel drive scene. So there's a few things we're gonna be doing with this. We've got 3 sheets, which they come in, I believe, 1 meter by 1.5 meters. So I'm gonna pop this down real quick. I'm gonna jump in the car. I'm gonna show you exactly what we're gonna be doing with this removable mass noise liner. So you can choose to run the mass noise liner in either way. So you can either do north-south, you can do east-west, but I'm also gonna be doing the full parcel shelf here. From factory, the only thing separating your boot from the inside of your car is this. It's core flute. It is literally signage material that Mitsubishi put in this car. Then you have the rear seat, which is quite heavy, but yeah, it's gonna take out a fair amount of sound, but not crazy. We're actually going to be draping a full mass noise liner over the entire rear section of the car. It's going to be pretty hectic. I don't know how I'm going to fix it all. But yeah, I reckon we just chuck it in the car. We see how we go. We'll line it all up. I don't have anything to create templates at the moment either. Absolutely nothing came out the back of this car that's templateable. So we'll see how we go. Alright, so I have my 3 mounting hooks pretty well situated. The only thing is it's going to be a little bit of a challenge because this stuff does rip. I really don't want to be placing the entire weight of the vinyl on that one hook because it will just fall straight down. So what I might do, they did include a little bit of alloy tape, which I might just use to hold up just for the time being. And then once it's all up, I can either leave it there or I can peel it straight up. And all right, for literally just working away at it, feeling exactly where things were and chucking it down, I feel this is pretty good. It's a full vinyl wall that goes between the car and the boot. And it does conform around those little areas. So you can see my relief cuts around there and then around the seatbelt portions and stuff like that. So yeah, I honestly think what we might try is try to fit the back seat. I reckon we just at least try and get the rear up. Parcel shelf can go back in, everything else can go back in apart from the bottom of the seat. So we'll do that. Okay, it is the next morning. I'm gonna quickly shut my garage door because it's all the rubbish. The wind, it's ridiculous. Anyway, my cousin's coming over today to get his car tinted, so I need to quickly finish this car and get everything sorted. Luckily, I stayed up a little bit last night to get the rest of the mass noise liner in, and it is pretty much all there ready to go. It was a bit of a challenge, I will admit. I'll walk you through some of the issues that I had. Aside from that, very, very happy with how it all turned out, so check it out. Alright, so yes, the entire floor is now done. Now there's a few things that I ran into, a few issues of when I was watching some videos about how to do mass noise liner. They had much easier interiors than what this tiny little all-wheel drive Japanese car had. There's just so many little things here and there, and God, it was absolutely annoying me. The moment I put in the driver's side, I was like, okay, this is just a lot of work. I tried to make it as clean as possible. I tried to cover up as much as possible, but yeah, I only did as good as I could get. All right, so first of all, I ran the sheets long ways and then literally just joined it up in the middle like this right here. So this is just literally just sitting there at the moment. But yes, this side here came up much nicer than what the other side did. So we'll just look at this one. Trimmed it around all the seats and stuff like that. All the little areas where the seat's going to connect is all there as well. This side here was a little bit more annoying because I have a massive big box. I could imagine for like a seat belt or an airbag sensor or something similar is like right here. So I just went over that, but it made just everything not really fit too well. I had to do a few little tiny relief joins down in here as well as right here to try and make this all nice because it like tucks in a whole bunch of times. In the front, under the wheel well, you can kind of see on the left-hand side, I needed to get a relief cut for the footrest as well. Over there looks pretty good as well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that driver bit came out. This side here is much nicer though. Everything about this is much better. I also got a little tiny sheet and just put it down beneath the gear shifter as well. So that should hopefully take it a fair bit. I was going to try and cut something up to cover this bit down here. But my issue is that there's so many little tiny things there that would have been an absolute nightmare to cut around everything, and it would have looked terrible. So this is where it is staying. It looks pretty good. I'm going to put the carpet back in now, and then yeah, we'll start buttoning everything up, I think. Alright, so now because we've added a good centimetre worth of material on the floor, I need to get rid of that on this. So this horrible stuff is not going to be doing anything whatsoever now, so we're going to chuck that into the rubbish pile. I'm just going to basically rip off all this old horrible sound deadener because we've made way for much newer, nicer stuff. So Alright, so the carpet's a little bit pushed up, but nothing too crazy. We'll definitely be able to get all the trim panels over all the tops and the seats and stuff like that. It will look pretty good. Next thing is we'll put all the trim panels on, and then we'll chuck the seats in last, I reckon. We'll see how we go. And just like that, the interior is back in. And can I just say, it's not an easy task to do this. All the interior is back in, but obviously when you add a layer of insulation beneath everything, nothing really fits up just perfectly. So you have to do a lot of work, just, you know, fiddling around, making stuff work, and yeah, there's just a lot of things that go on. Either way, the carpet and everything is in, the seats are in, all the trims are back in. I even made some little tiny things for my floor mats because they used to slide about. So they're all now fixed as well, which I'm very, very happy about. The mat just used to ride up and it was just horrible. Now it's all fixed. We're gonna set the GoPro up, take it for a drive, and see what the fuss is all about. Let's get into it. Ugh. Okay, I am in the Evo. Currently got everything closed up. Initially, the biggest thing you could always hear was the engine, and we haven't really done anything from the engine back, so I'm not expecting to hear any less of the engine, but mainly just road noise. But already, I can notice it's relatively quieter in the cabin, mainly in terms of the exhaust. This car's only got a cat and a rear muffler, so I'm guessing that it's probably going to take out a fair bit. This car is so dirty, I haven't washed it in so long. Probably also better make sure my car's registered. Alright, first of all, I just want to have a little bit of a putt around. The exhaust is all closed, so realistically this should give us the quietest before and after. We'll see how we go. It's so nice to have my floor mat not sliding around everywhere beneath me. I don't know if it's that, I don't know if it's the effect of, you know, when you do something, oh, wrong here. I don't know if it's that effect of when you do something, you start thinking about it and you like try and notice small differences and stuff like that. I couldn't tell you. At 60 k's an hour, it is noticeably quieter. I kind of wish I had got a dB tester, but I've also, I'll try it with the exhaust open. Let's see how we go. Oh, I didn't wire up my exhaust again. I screwed up a little bit. One thing I was supposed to do was put my Varex up to a constant 12 volt, and I have not done that yet. So we can't open the exhaust, nor can we get into boost on this test drive. But that's not what this test drive is about. It's about the quietness of the cabin. We'll give it a test. We'll see how we go. All right, test at 80 k's an hour. All right, so yeah, noticeably quieter. It's still loud, but I used to have to yell when I talk to people in this car, and I don't feel like that's going to be a thing anymore. I feel like that's going to be a thing of the past. Really should fix that. That is my airbox rattling. Yeah, it is wildly different. I'm not even, I wish I had like a dB tester or something similar to show you guys the difference, but simply just accelerating the engine noise when you're actually like
when you've just got your muffler closed and stuff like that and cruising around. I really gotta fix that airbox now, god damn it. I always put that little airbox rattle down to, it's just a 4G, it's just vibrating, and yeah, now it's just gross. Now I gotta fix it. The interior actually feels so much nicer. Like everything doesn't, like nothing rattles, everything's tight, everything feels good. Nothing is rubbing against itself. I also haven't heard any rocks flicking up in the rear wheel arches, which is a big difference. I just thought about that. It's a big difference. 0 rocks. Yeah, that's wild. The difference is in the bitumen as well. Like literally just going from something that was nice quiet bitumen to loud bitumen. All I can really hear now is just that tire noise, which is, I've got 8009s, they're 255 8009s. Saying that they are much better than some other tires on the market, but compared to my Pilot Sport 5s that I had, Pilot Sport 5s are one of the best tires, I love them. All right, I'm gonna put some music on, I'm gonna chill, I'm gonna see what it sounds like, go from there. Okay, so I just went fed up with fuel, jumped on the highway, currently going 100 kilometers an hour. It's incredible. So quiet. Music. It is so quiet. That is, it's next level compared to what it was. Now I really wish I did front like A and B testing. That's blown me out of the water. I think the biggest thing, and I think Adrian was right from Car Builders, that rear area to go into the boot, the boot just echoes everything. Everything is just vibrating and terrible, especially in an Evo. So when you look at what was between the boot and the cabin, which usually in most cars is like a big, like a wooden back seat or something similar, or who knows, it's something really heavy sitting there. This was just a piece of foam and some signage material. The moment you separate the boot from the car, I can no longer hear, you know, the rear diff going and doing its thing, and everything is just super quiet. There's no little dings, there's no little anything underneath the seat. It all feels really, really comfortable. Very, very happy. Very happy I did this job. It does take a long time to get sorted, but once it's done. And once again, if you are concerned about weight, I think we added 25 kilos to the car-ish, not a crazy amount. Majority of that 25 kilos is removable. So if I wanted to go on a track day, all I'd have to do is just take out the seats, remove the carpet, and take out what's beneath, and take out the mass noise liner, and then, you know, we've only added 10 or so kilos or whatever it is, and all of that weight is all down low. Everything is on the floor, so. All right, well, first of all, I want to give a massive thank you to Car Builders for giving me all this stuff to test out. Honestly, it is night and day difference as to how this thing feels, and it hasn't taken away the rawness of the car. Like driving that around just saying, you still feel all the bumps, you still feel everything. However, I could imagine once that exhaust opens up, if we can finally do it when I wire it in, once that exhaust opens up, it's going to be it's going to be next level. So once again, if you guys wanted to do this thing yourself, we have only added about 25 kilo to the car, which in the grand scheme of things isn't crazy. You know, most people that do sound systems and stuff like that, you'll be adding like 10 kilo worth of stuff to the car anyway. Everything I've done so far hasn't really made the car feel any different. I'm sure if I drove it back to back through the hills and I was, you know, bombing them, I might notice a little bit of weight. But realistically, all I've added to the car is half a passenger's worth of weight. So the car is still disgustingly quick. It's still awesome to drive. So I love it. Even sitting in here now, it's like quiet, peace. But yeah, literally 3 boxes of stage 1 and 3 boxes of the mass noise liner. It transforms these old Japanese cars into something that's so much nicer to drive. I'm ready to do a massive road trip in this thing again. Next thing I'm going to be doing to this thing is we're actually going to be doing a drive-by-wire conversion as well. So I have the full white line parts catalog ready to slap under this car. I'm gonna get a drive-by-wire set up for it as well so I can do cruise control. That's gonna be next level. I'm so excited for cruise control. I have a steering wheel for the car as well, and I have a new shift knob as well, because the steering wheel, it's great, but the only thing I really notice about the steering wheel is when I turn corners. I don't know if you guys know about the Evos, but the horn button is actually on where your like your hand pads are. And so it's a little bit weird. Whenever I'm turning a really sharp corner and I'm putting a bit of effort into it, I end up pressing on the horn. And so even at Sandown turn 1, I was going around the first turn and I was pressing the horn the whole way around. So I'm changing the wheel out completely for a beautiful, nice 90 Personal, which I had in my Bathurst RX-7. So that's going to be going in this car as well. I have a new shift knob coming from Jazz Performance, plus a little sort of extension as well, so that's gonna be pretty cool. But yeah, this entire thing is getting an interior makeover. I'm happy now that my floor mats don't roll around. It's just nice. Oh my God, that beep has never worked. There you go. There you go, car builders will fix your car 100% guaranteed, just saying. All right, I have lots of cleaning to do. Thank you so much everyone for watching. I very much do appreciate it. If you do want to grab some car builder stuff, I'm gonna link their stuff in the description down below. You can get car builders from pretty much most major retailers now. I know Autobarn does them, and my local Autobarn Packy, massive shout out to them. We've actually done a few sound system installs with car builders stuff as well. So very, very happy with that. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.